We said it was going to be a tough fight for Harry Hunsucker, and you got to respect that the man is game as ever. The man has improved his frame. He's looking sharp, looking like he could cut down a middleweight if he needed to. But you fight a hungry Tyson Pedro, a man who came out trying to pick his shots, who came out like a sniper, and inevitably all it took was what? We have 6 total strikes by Tyson Pedro to get the job done, man. Everybody knew this was going to be a mismatch. You got to respect Harry Hunsucker for being up and being game for the challenge. But Tyson Pedro, 2 wins in a very short time in his last 2 fights back in the UFC. Do you think Tyson Pedro is being spoiled by these early victories? Do you think that he needs a real barn burner, a real 3-round banger to be able to kind of truly solidify and gauge where he is in terms of the pecking order in the light heavyweight division right now?
I think so, man. I think you got to give him a bigger test to actually, not only solidify himself to the fans, but also solidify himself to himself, to know that in those dog fights, in those barn burners, when, push comes to shove, you're actually able to get things going and stand up and fire. Because if you just keep having these early finishes, as nice as it is to get, 50 G's or whatever the case is for a minute worth of work, man, I mean, it's when the other time comes, when the deep water comes and you're starting to get there bloody, blood in your eyes, sweat's dripping, the other guy's standing there still bouncing around. That's really what we need to see for Tyson Pedro can stand up against, because this dude is, if we can see the Tyson Pedro start coming in and start demolishing these people in those kind of, the big names in the 205-pound division, I think we're going to see a very, very interesting fighter that's going to blossom here in the next couple of years. Because the same thing, man, he took a long time off, a lot of injuries. He was saying some weird stuff happened with his knee and the surgery. So it's good to see Tyson Pedro back, but I think we need to see him actually tested to really solidify if we got a contender here. What do you think, Derek?
I absolutely agree with you, man. If you look at the total time of his last 2 fights, man, since 2018, man, he's fought twice, right? And a total accumulation of 5 minutes in the cage. 5 minutes. That's it. You know what I mean? So I'll just leave it at that, man. I want to see more from Tyson Pedro, but how can you be mad at the performance, man? You come in, you finish him, you get out, man. In and out. You don't get paid by the hour right here. Shout out to Tyson Pedro. Big win. And that is your main...